Good morning, Malta and Gozo, and welcome to another edition of Lovin Daily. I am your host, Jonathan Chilia, joined by my co-host, Sam. I hope you had a lovely Christmas weekend, and here are your headlines for today. Vaccinated nurse encourages Malta to get inoculated. Tourism Minister's Facebook post discounts Daphne Caruana Galicia's murder as non-political. Arnold Cassola asks Standards Commissioner to investigate Prime Minister. Maltese family of 9 rehoused after children had to sleep in kitchen of rundown home. And Malta comes together for Lustrina as over 6.5 million euros are raised. I just want to remind you that today's episode is sponsored by Bulgari Malta. Bulgari just introduced the new aluminium luxury sports watch. These beautiful watches are unisex and are made from aluminium and rubber and are the perfect luxury gift to give to your loved ones this season. So treat yourselves to this watch. It is New Year, maybe it's time for a new watch. That said, let's jump into the first story of today.
And a super positive story indeed. So the first person to get inoculated in Malta was an infectious disease unit nurse, Rachel Grech. She got it yesterday. She will be joined by other healthcare workers and elderly over 85 who will be the first to get inoculated. And she had a very powerful message for Malta together with Chris Fern. She said we need to trust scientists, go get vaccinated so we can get back onto the road to normality. So we joined the other EU countries on the 27th to start the mass vaccination process. We're getting one of 5 jabs. This was the first, I believe it was the Pfizer jab. And I'm very excited to hopefully a normal summer.
Yeah, I know. The video obviously was widely watched over the weekend. Not only the video, even the actual landing of the frozen vaccines as they were arriving. I mean, the Prime Minister was there, Chris Fern was there, the Health Minister, Charmaine Gauci was there, everyone was out there, all the health authorities. It was a very, very big day. It was a big day, a day we've all been waiting for. And now that they've landed, the Medical Association of Malta has said it is imperative that all healthcare workers are vaccinated over the next 5 weeks. Just today they issued a statement saying that according to a survey, over 70% of Maltese people want to get the jab. They want to be vaccinated. So, these next few days, these next few weeks are going to be critical for the rollout of the vaccine. Just to remind you of the numbers, the COVID numbers yesterday. Yesterday we found 84 new cases alongside 118 recoveries. So we're still not out of the woods yet, but it does seem like there is progress happening on that front. Moving on to the next story, a bit of a crazy political story that happened yesterday evening. You might have missed it. Today and yesterday, a lot of people were paying tribute to Karen Grech, the 15-year-old Maltese girl who unfortunately lost her life in a letter bomb attack. This is a massive death, something that's quite political, unfortunately. And yesterday, Tourism Minister Clayton Bartola paid tribute to her, but his wording was a little bit awkward. He said, quote, "Together with the Birkirkara community, I pay tribute to Karen Grech, the only victim of a political assassination in Malta." I don't know if he's been aware, but over the last 3 years, Malta has been rocked by a major political assassination, Daphne Caruana Galizia. And it's not only her, Raymond Caruana as well. It's a bit shocking because Clayton Bartola is a young, quite a fresh politician. A lot of people look to him to be kind of the new face of Labour, to kind of bring new standards, new morals to the government, to Labour. So to see this kind of language used over such a sensitive topic, especially as we're in the midst of still trying to grapple with the Caruana Galizia assassination, it was a bit shocking, and a lot of people really did feel it.
Yeah, unfortunately, it was clear what his intention was by saying it was the only political assassination. It is effectively to discount all the progress there is in solving the Caruana Galizia murder. He's not the first of his colleagues, unfortunately, young ones as well, to bash the public inquiry, to do whatever they can to stop this. Unfortunately, he didn't even apologize. He just edited out the word only, and left it like that. Well, the inquiry is going to go on, and it was indeed a political assassination, so that's that. Let's go on to our next story. Arnold Cassola has asked the Standards Commissioner to investigate the Prime Minister. So another one of his colleagues is in boiling water now. So the former AD leader Arnold Cassola has asked Standards Commissioner George Hislett to investigate Robert Abela following a controversy relating to the tax chief Marvin Gertie's phone. So essentially, he withheld approval for police to investigate Gertie's phone, his government phone, after sources say it contained a trove of sensitive information, including an exchange with Robert Abela about opposition leader Bernard Gregg's taxes. Now, the immediate question to me is why police still need to ask for the Prime Minister's permission to conduct an investigation like this when there's clear conflict of interest. I don't know what you thought about this. It's pretty insane.
That's a very, very good point, Sam. So Cassola, he's always been quite a critical man, even when he was in politics. Since leaving politics, he's only become more critical, it seems. And he said, quote, if this is true, such behavior is anathema in the democratic world. And if this is true, he said, there's no place for discussion. Robert Abela must be kicked out. So we'll definitely have to see if Hisler acts on this, if the Standard Commissioner makes any moves on this. So we'll definitely have to see if anything develops on this front. I just want to remind you that today's episode is sponsored by Bulgari Malta. We're going to be cutting to a quick video right now. Okay, so moving on to the next story, and this was a story that we wrote on Saturday, but developed quite a big discussion online. A family of 9 living in a rented, rundown home in Valletta were rehoused into social housing in Floriana. One News actually paid them a visit and did a whole video interview, so you could actually see their old home and their new home. And it kind of gave everyone an insight into situations that are very real, very much happening in 2020. So, like I said, family of 9, 7 kids, aged between 1 and 14. The situation had gotten so bad in their previous Valletta home that the kids had to sleep in the kitchen. They only had one bathroom to share between all 9 of them. So it was a very, very tight fit. Interviewing the family now, the father said, super happy to have this new home. He said he was just happy to have a place to have a presepe and to design for Christmas and have a bit of Christmas feeling for once. It seems like the family had a spat of bad luck over the last year. The father was in a car accident and then lost his job, and the pandemic then hit. Not only that, but the mother was diagnosed with a rare disease recently and is expecting to go to operation in February. So a very, very tough situation. A lot of people had a lot of feelings and thoughts about this, but it is good to see that they have been rehoused somewhere more appropriate for a family of 9.
Yeah, I think it's just a stark reminder of the fact that cases like this do exist even in Malta, even though we don't think so or try not to believe so. Especially I feel with the homeless issue we have in Malta, we tend to sweep it under the rug, say that this has happened in Malta, when in fact it does. There are, I think, around 7,000 people on minimum wage in Malta at risk of poverty. So I think this is just a kind of a reminder that this is social policy failure, essentially, and we need a stronger welfare state and make sure that situations like this don't happen where you have a family of 9 living in 2 rooms. This is beyond subpar, essentially. But we can end today on a positive note and see how Malta really comes together, for the festive season, because Malta has raised 6.5 million euros for Listrina.
Wow.
Super amazing. So it's the annual community chest fund fundraiser for Listrina. They raise money for people with chronic illnesses, provided with material and financial support. We managed to raise 6.5 million euros, 300,000 euros more than last year. Despite the pandemic, we made it. It was a super cool program as well. It was really nice to see everyone, come together.
It really is, for such a tribalistic island as Malta, where everything has to be connected to politics. It was actually just nice to see, the Prime Minister, the opposition leader, even the Archbishop, all coming together, all on the stage at the same time, just with a unified call. Let's come together, let's help out those in need, let's help out those that are in more vulnerable situations than ourselves. And as you said yourself, it was a very fun show. There was lots of games, there was loads of people. There were politicians, celebrities, musicians, personalities. Everyone kind of did their part and stepped in. And there were some incredible individual donations as well. 10,000 K, I saw 14,000 donations. So that's just beautiful to see, and to end the year, a very, very strange year for Malta, on at least a pretty good note. That brings us to the end of today's episode. I just want to quickly remind you that today's episode is sponsored by Bulgari Malta, which is a new aluminium luxury sports watch. It's got aluminium, it's got rubber, it's beautiful. New year, new watch, it makes sense. From myself and Sam, have a day full of lovin'.